Hello, what is going on YouTube land and friends? So today I'm going to show you how to quick build a shulker farm so you can get infinite shulker shells. And it's not a full tutorial because you're just going to get the idea of how to lay this out, right? Like this is an easy concept and I'm actually working to expand it, but basically you need, this is kind of the spacing that you need between solid blocks, right? So the shulkers can attach to any solid blocks. That's why I'm using a lot of glass for literally everything else. And then buttons wherever I don't want them to spawn, right? So, or I mean, kind of replicate. It wouldn't be spawn, right? Because, yeah. But so yeah, you need, and then I was gonna try and get some more, put some glass over top of these guys here, so that I could walk out there, but in typical fashion of trying to deal with shulkers, we're just getting shot like way too much here, right? So and then I'm like, I can't even remove this block because the struggle is real, right? So, but you can see, so we've already got, and then yeah, I fell down this little holes here. So I have a breeding system set up here so that I can make basically infinite amount of shulker, enemies, the mob. But basically the way the shulker farms work is, the shulkers, if they shoot themselves, if they shoot each other and die from, shooting, one another, they'll instantly like respawn, right? So what happens is it drops the shulker shells, and then another shulker spawns on that exact same block, right? And then what happens is they have a small chance to teleport. And then, so this is the spacing you need. So, right, so you need 4 blocks in between each set of 2 here, right? So see how that is spaced. So I tried building one of these in the overworld, and I was doing it by memory, and I mess up the spacing, and it doesn't work right if you don't have these spaced just right. Just because it has to do. And then you can see here, so we've got 2 shulkers. You only need 2 to start with. Right, so what happened here is we've already had one sort of duplicate and reproduce, right? So, but then what you do is I've got all this extra stuff that you don't need. It's just me because I'm trying to build and expand it, right? But so, and then armor stands here, and then glass above the armor stands, right? And so then there's 2 blocks, 2 spaces in between me and the first spot that a shulker can spawn here, or attach there. So that shulker there is technically 3 blocks away, right? So it's a glass block above my head, a glass block above where this armor stand is, and then an empty space in there in between, and then those 2 solid blocks, then the 4 empty spaces, and then 2 more solid blocks, right? So you kind of see what's going on here. So they basically, when you stand right behind the armor stand, they shoot each other. They shoot at the next one over, right? So, and then here we've got just a collection system, right? So this is just water filtering down, and then we go back down to the bottom here. So you want to build it up and away from everything else, because otherwise you're going to run into the situation of, I think you need to do, I don't know what it is. I would say 50 blocks just to be safe, right? It may not be that much, but yeah, then I've just got hoppers, and so yeah, there's the water collection system. So I'm only need the one, sort of the one branch with the 2 shulkers on it, right? So I'm working to try and expand it, and at this point, after trying to duplicate more and more shulkers, I don't really need this. I've got more shulker shells than I can manage, right? So, but basically they fall down into here and go into this centralized hopper, right? So it's just water streams pushing the dead, the shulker shells down into hoppers, and then I feed them back down to the ground here in the end, right? So, and then I've got, of course, so this is just a too high platform for, for when you accidentally look at the Enderman. But yeah, you can see I got a whole bunch in here, and it's, that'll, unless you're building massive storage systems, right? But basically what you got to do is find an end city, and there's almost always 2 shulkers right here at this front gate, right? So you want to get to them before they can start attacking you and teleport away. But all you need to do is literally lay down a minecart right next to them, and they instantly drop into it. So we'll demo that a little later, right? So then we go and we've got powered rail to go up to where we've built the farm, and so that's how I got the first 2 up there. And so the rest that you're going to see are all sort of, they're duplicates, right? So, but yeah, as they kill each other, they have a small chance to create another one. And that it'll do that as long as you've got that spacing right, and then it'll do that up to 5 shulkers, right? So we're gonna go up here and sit in the farm, and I'll kind of show you at least like how long it was taking me. But yeah, so I want to expand it and put more shulkers here, but the thing is you can't do it. For like, you can't let them like duplicate. Like, they'll only duplicate up to 5 in the same area. So what you have to do is duplicate them. So that here's where I want a new one to spawn, right? When they do duplicate, right? So I'm gonna put it there, so it'll spawn there. That's literally everything else is either covered with buttons, or is and I lost the button, so I'm gonna go grab another one. And everything else is either covered with buttons or is glass, right? So there's nowhere else for the shulkers to go except for the 4 spots that I have for like the farm itself. And then that spot that was by the minecart. So this is my way of, if you don't know, this is my little cheeky way of dealing with Endermen, right? So if you accidentally look at them, they're 3 blocks high, right? So they can't get you if you've got a 2 block high space. And then I cut this little like triangle, like this little shape into into the roof here. So they always try to get to the closest spot, right? So if you just make this little this little cutout here, they're always going to go to that spot. So then it's super easy to just stand there, wait for them to show up, and murder them with your looting sword, right? And then I've got I need to do some cleanup and make this thing look cool, but I was just like, I had a plan for some shulkers. I wanted to get them into the overworld, right? So that's the ultimate goal here. So that's the spawn spot where I removed the button that we're looking at right there. And then we've got 3 here right now, right? So, but you only need 2, and it doesn't matter. What you do is you bring them up with the minecarts, and then, make sure you use like glass so that they don't have anywhere else to go. And then you leave these underneath spots with no buttons, right? And so then you bring them up with minecarts, then you hit the minecart, and then they'll eventually just teleport back to the only spot, to one of these solid block spots, right? So as long as you've kind of cleaned out the area of solid blocks, which the easiest thing to do is just build it up here, right? Up in the sky a little bit, away from everything else. And then I used glass so that I didn't have to deal with putting buttons on literally everything. And then even this the scaffolding that I have as the ladder to get up here, I've got glass surrounding that too, so that they can't see me as I'm going up into the AFK spot here, right? So, but yeah, so there's 3 there. So you only need 2, right? So you get those first 2 from that wall, right on the entrance of the end city, right? Bring them up here, hit the, knock them out of the minecart, and then they'll eventually teleport up to one of these solid block spots. So I'm just checking back there. So sometimes, and then what I do if I'm specifically, so once you get 2, you just stand here and wait for them to kill each other, and they're gonna kill each other a bunch of times. And what happens is you can see shulker shells falling down, right? So those are going into the water streams that are feeding into the farm, right? And then eventually a third one's going to pop up, right? So it doesn't matter which spots they cling to or whatever, as long as you've got this, this orientation here. Yeah, I'm bad with some tutorial teaching you how to do it right, but if you need to go back in the video a little bit, just pause it in that spot to get the spacings right. But yeah, so we'll wait here while these guys, we're basically we're farming shulker shells at this point, right? And then, so you can see one teleported, right? So I'm like, okay, we'll check back there. And then did it teleport or did it create a new one? But, both. So now there's 4 here, right? So now we just need that to happen one more time. And it's going to happen even faster now that there's 4, right? So now there's a 5th one back up in my spot that I wanted it to go to, right? And we've got that. Yeah, so we just kind of got lucky with timing there. It does take a while. Be patient. It takes a while, right? So, yes, but basically he's gotten lured into my trap, right? Because I've already got minecart rails set up here, right? So I can put this minecart right next to him. Boom, he goes into it. And then I'm going to grab my buttons and put it there so so that I don't have one spawning over here when I don't want it to. And then you got to be quick when you push them. You got to be real quick, otherwise they're going to hit you with their stupid fly ball spitball thing, right? And then I have over here is my collection of shulker, my shulker prison for the time being, right? So what I'm doing is I need to collect. Yeah, we're missing a spot of glass here, but I need to collect enough so that for all those extra spots that I have that I built, and then yeah. So what I do is I seal them off in here, right? So leave one rail underneath them, so that when you want to move them again later, it's easy. And then I just block them off with glass, right? So they're literally surrounded in glass, and then on top of in a minecart on a rail, right? So then here I can prepare my next chamber for the next one that comes in, right? And then so yeah, but basically what I wanted to do was get enough of them so that I could basically make 4 wings of shulkers with 4 each on them, and then I'll bring them back and let them teleport to those spots, and then as they kill each other, they'll drop shulker shells, and it'll be a super fast shulker farm. But like I said, like with just I've taken a ton of the shulker shells already back into the overworld already, and it's like just like this idea of like having a faster shulker farm. I'm like, all right, this is kind of silly because as I'm sitting here breeding them, making more of them, right? Like now I have so many, right? So, so what we're gonna do is now is the point in the video where we're gonna show you how to. So this is a good way to like just deal with moving them around, right? Glass chambers. But now we're gonna bring one into the overworld, and I've already done this a couple of times, so there's already a few over there. But real quick, you gotta push him so that he doesn't get a chance to shoot you, and then give him a little bit of space, and then we're gonna ride our minecart along with him. You want to make sure you're spaced enough behind him so that he's not shooting you while you're moving along here. But with the sort of the active chunk amounts, right? You want to do this one at a time. I highly recommend one at a time, because if you try and send 2 at once, what's going to happen is the minecart's going to get to the end of the loaded chunks, right? The active chunks. And then the second one's going to hit that guy and bounce back and be on his way back to you. And then you're going to have shulkers going the wrong direction in minecarts that you don't want them to be going, right? So, but what you've got to do is build a gigantic dirt bridge like we've done here, and make this back to the end, right? So, or to the to the end portal, right? So where you would fight the dragon, right? So step 1, kill the dragon, right? Then step 2, find end city. If you don't know how to find end cities, you want to get one close, obviously, because otherwise you either have to deal with building a really, really long minecart rail like this, or dealing with trying to shove them through one of the little stupid end portal things, right? Which is like a whole nother spiel in itself sometimes. So like what I did is you go to, I'll put a link in the description to chunk base, but basically you punch in your seed number in there, and then you go to the end. It's a fairly user-friendly website, right? And it'll tell you where, it gives you a little map and shows you where end cities are, right? So find an end city that's close, like we've done here. I think this was the closest one, maybe 1,000 blocks away, right? So it's like, just like, this to me is simpler than trying to deal with shoving shulkers through those little portals to get them back over here. Simplicity, right? I'm not getting shot by shulkers for, a bajillion times while trying to do this kind of stuff. Oh, and the other thing too, make sure you don't have thorns on your armor, because then you'll be. I've killed off a few that way, and I was like, all right, I gotta get new armor with without thorns on them, because then they're hurting themselves as they hit you, right? So we've got this I basically flattened it out a little bit with dirt. I think you want to do I did more than I needed to, right? But I flattened it out and put all these buttons here so that the shulkers wouldn't have anywhere else to go as I drop them into the end portal here to go back. So I'm just trying to stay far enough away. But I don't know if you really need to do this, because as you drop him in, he goes in anyway. But I did it just for safety's sake. I flattened it out and put, 10 by 10 around it. With buttons. So I put a powered rail under there, and then what you do is, so you just drop them in like that, so you delete you mine the block that it stops at right by the pillar here, right? And then I'm replacing the rail, and actually I had powered rail here, but what you want to do is then you need to do this second part, right? Otherwise, you're going to lose him because you need to send a constructed minecart through as well, right in the exact same spot. Okay. If you don't do that, because we'll talk about that in a little second here, but this is what you need to do. So then I'm replacing the powered rail that I used there, so that way I make sure he stops there. When I send the next one through. So we'll go back into the overworld. You want to make sure any beds that you've slept in, if you slept in a bed, you pick that bed up so you don't have so you actually spawn at spawn, right? Because that's where the shulker is going to come to, right? And so I've already done some prep work over here. But if you can see up on the, so I know exactly where he's going to fall, well, sort of, right along this ramp, right? And that's where the other stuff was that we sent through, right? So, but basically he has come through way, way high up in the sky, right? Like hundreds of blocks, if not I think the other choice is it's either 500 or 1,000 blocks up, right? So you need to send that second constructed minecart through, right in the same spot, and then that picks him up, and then he's literally just falling from however high up he spawned through, right? So this is how you get him into the overworld. And then so what I did to know exactly where, what I did first before I built this ramp, because now this ramp's gonna, the shulker's gonna land on in the minecart, and he's gonna start going where I want him to instantly, right, when he drops. But what I did is I laid a whole bunch of minecart rail just flat on the ground. Here he comes. In that spot, and then once I consistently saw that minecart landing almost same spot every time, then I finished, then I just got rid of all that extra rail, built just that ramp, and then and then now we're doing this. So same thing. Yeah, man, that freaking spitball is gonna hit me later. So yeah, we've done a Roman build at our spawn area. I'll have to go through that. We'll do a tour of that one of these days, right? So those are the user that we got with those from is called Tridar. I'll try and remember to put a link to his channel. But if you are interested in massive builds, he is a great guy to go to if you want to waste your life away building my Minecraft stuff. But yeah, awesome Roman build. So that's how we've themed our spawn area from that stuff. But yeah, but this realm here, this is all survival. We haven't done any creative, right? We've still got achievements that we're earning on this realm. So everything has been done manually. We've got iron and gold farms to support all this rail that we've built, and then massive mining operations to build a bunch of other stuff. So I actually fast forwarded through a bunch of the video because I'm I think it's 1,500 blocks away, and what I'm doing is, I'm sort of pranking a friend here with these shulkers. So my original plan was to, you can kind of see my little contraptions up here. I've got a little bit of a sky base here. But my original plan was to build the breeder close to his base and then breed up shulkers and then just leave him in his base, right? To be hilarious, because I'm funny like that. I'm a nice guy, right? But I think I screwed up the spacing and it wasn't working. It would spawn a third one, and then he would die right away and not, come back. So, but yeah, so I've got this rail going right into his little fort that and everybody else on this realm is just better at building than I am as far as looks go, aesthetics. I just am terrible at that. But we already got a few of them in here. And so I think I need to stop with this guy because it's starting to become a challenge to go in here and knock him out of the minecart and then... I need to be able to get rid of the glass, right? I want it to look like home sweet home, and then he comes in here and there's all these shulkers. But it's just this is a little hectic here. I need to get out. I need an adult. All right, we're gonna die if I take too many more of these hits. All right, it's coming out. I think we're far enough away from a couple of them. We'll eat to get some hearts back. Yeah, there we go. We'll see. Do I want to do this on this video? Do you guys want to watch me struggle to get all of this done? I mean, the rail's easy because it'll, once you hit the glass, the rail breaks instantly anyway. All right, I'm gonna try at least one more run here and see if we can. It's probably gonna have to be done. We'll wait for a little bit of more hearts to come back too. I'm probably gonna have to do this in shifts. But yeah, so if you've run out of prank ideas for your buddies that are on your map, this is a good one, right? It's just shulkers everywhere. Oh man, I can't wait for him to have to deal with this. By the way, friends, I love you. Whatever, my friends don't watch my YouTube channel, right? If he does, it's too late. It's already happened here. Let's, I'm gonna sleep before, like, a creeper spawns somewhere and, like, destroys his base and I have to, like, repair it. Oh my gosh, okay. Do we go in? Ugh. This is gonna make this video too long, me trying to go in and clear out all these glass blocks now. But yeah, there's some on the outside too that have already like moved around. Oh my gosh, there's one in here too. Oh, crap. Jeepers, this is all right. All right, real quick. Like I'm already floating. I think if I could get underneath, let's get out. I need adult. I think if I could get underneath the glass as I'm floating, then I could mine up and get most of it, but I don't know. But anyway, so that is kind of my very, very brief how you get infinite shulker shells, breed more shulkers, and bring them into the overworld. So thank you guys so much for watching. If you're interested in more Minecraft videos, let me know down in the comments. I know I'm doing a lot of other stuff right now, so yeah, speak your mind, let me know, and we'll see you next time.